I'm going to show another type of audio app, and this is Dragon Dictation. Now, some of you may have heard this or seen this for computers where you can actually talk and the computer will type for you. This is an app that will do that on your iPad. So once you pull the app up, you click on it and you can see it's recording my voice. It does a pretty good job. This is then character recognition software, and when I stop, then it takes what it heard and converts it to text. And it does a really pretty accurate job. Okay? From this then, okay, let's say that I'm in a hurry, I need to do a quick email. So I want to just say the email, then I can press the button in the upper left-hand corner. You see the down arrow? I can press that button, I can email, I can type in who I want to send it to, and you see it's already got the text that I said already embedded in the email. You can also, from this button, you can also copy it to move it into something else. You can automatically put it up to Facebook, Twitter, things like that. So I don't remember how much this was. It's a $5 or $10 app to have this Dragon Dictation.
So did you have to train it?
No, it was pretty good just right out of the box.
I think Dragon Dictation is pretty good.
I think so too.
Oh, is it?
too.
Okay.
What is it called?
Dragon Dictation.
DRNG?
Yeah, it's Dragon, like it's Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Dragon Dictation.
Yeah, there it is, Dragon Dictation. Okay, so it works pretty good for those quick little things you're just going to be able to say or not type. So, okay.
And how does it store?
It really doesn't store the information. It just simply, well, you can store the document once it's typed out with the note. It calls it a note, so I think you can store it from here if you needed to. But I think that the object is to capture some text from voice and then send it, or put it somewhere else.
something else
That's
in
the
it.
intent. Yeah. Okay. Other questions about Dragon Dictation? Okay.
Okay. What we're going to talk about now is video collaboration type applications that are used for communicating. Michael, I think, were you going to give a demo on Skype?
We can. A brief, yeah.
How many use Skype? We figured a lot of people would be interested in this part of it.
And as we've been testing this from iPad to iPad in the same room, we've seen some latency or some lag. So just like some of the other apps that we've showed you today that we said, oh yeah, this is going to work great, we'll see if it really comes through that well. So anyhow, you'll probably recognize the Skype format. It's just like what you would see on your computer. And Mary's on, so I'm going to try to video chat with Mary. Just drop my Apple TV. I actually have Mary on here. Let me see if I can get back on Apple TV with this. There we are. So there's Mary and there's me, and I've used this in our building where I've actually walked down the hall into different rooms and visited with someone about an issue that's going on. So it really works well. If you want to, if you have an iPad 2, you can go to the forward-facing camera. At least I think it will. Back. There we go. And so then I could actually show the room on my iPad like this. So just a quick way to use Skype. Any quick questions about that?
Okay. The next one, how many have heard of Polycom? Okay. Matt? Going to demonstrate Polycom.
All right. Well, assume that you have Polycom at your disposal in another room or or another state, doesn't matter, somewhere else you can connect to. Let's see. Let's get you on there. If the Polycom is new enough, I found out that some of the older Polycoms do not work. You can actually connect to it if you know its IP address. This is actually bringing back from the Blue Mont Hall, where I've set up a nice demo. So I can actually see what's going on. Downside of the Polycom app is this is free. You can go get Polycom app for free on the App Store. The Polycom unit itself is not free, obviously, so it's pretty expensive. I cannot control camera from here. That kind of stinks. I can't move the camera around, so I'd have to ask them. But they can actually hear me right now. I could mute it. I could make it so they can't see me. If you notice this little icon or up in the right hand corner, I've turned my video off. They can't see me anymore. I can actually switch it to where I could have that back camera showing when I see if I have an iPad too. So, or I can get rid of my little, I don't want to see myself when I'm talking to other people, but just to make sure that it's there. So it's something to consider because we do use Polycom on campus. So if you're off campus, you have an iPad at your disposal, you could use it. And it's free, so it's kind of nice. You can get it to work. I would suggest testing it out before you take that trip to Colorado and expect it just to work. So,
Thank you, Matt. One other application, and we didn't get a chance to really test it out, but how many use Adobe Connect? You're just going to see that classroom.
Okay, but multiple people could actually
Yes.
connect in and then watch the session, so it would be like.
Yes, same as a desktop here. Very much so.
The Adobe Connect lets you connect up to 250 people.
Yes.
From iPads to whatever room you're connecting to.
Yeah, and they never complain. They're always able to get on to, if they're using the iPad, it works.
And what's Adobe Connect connecting to? Sort of IP camera or what?
It connects to another, well, we have basically a webcam camera that's hooked into our computer that sits in a room for the Adobe Connect that projects up on the screen. And it allows you to connect in with like webcam except in multiple. You could have a screen full of people connecting. Of course, you have to learn how to control that because you really don't want to see all of them out there, just the ones that are going to present. You can rank them as presenters or just viewers. You've got 3 or 4 different rankings you can create and use. Really a unique application. We're starting to use it quite a bit.
It does desktop sharing also.
Yes,
Desktop
it sure
captures,
does.
so it captures desktop. So if you're showing a PowerPoint or something in your class, if you're talking to students, the people on the other end of the iPad of the Adobe Connect can see the presentation as well as the camera, all of that together.
Who starts the session? I'm confused about that.
The class, probably the classroom or and that's what you were saying.
You have to start it from your classroom. Whoever is the presenter has to start the presentation. Because like I said before, the iPad app only allows you to view a presentation
Right.
or a session that is taking place. It doesn't allow you to start a session or to host a session,
No.
if that explains it.
So that is paid software that you install on a computer in a classroom or somewhere.
Nope, it isn't.
No?
Oh, it isn't?
No,
Okay,
but I'll
sorry.
explain a little bit more. When I had that up here, this, just consider that the Adobe Connect is a client. It's out there, and we're all sitting here, and we've got a camera up here on the wall. That person out there, or persons, can see this room. So it's kind of like a many-to-one, so there could be 150 people out there connecting into this room, and you have connected web-wise through a browser with your Adobe Connect URL, which runs off of a host server. So it's keeping track of your classroom instruction. You can have it actually recorded. I'm trying to make that as clear as I can. And so you could show a PowerPoint here, and that person out there could see it. That person can have participation in your classroom, but he can't make himself the Adobe Connect classroom. And that's what you were saying. Yes.
Another thing you can do is you can record your class beforehand.
Yes.
And email your student the URL for your class, and then they can watch it on their iPad, you know, while you're at home watching Desperate Housewives.
Very simple.
It's like Wimba on steroids.
Yeah. Very much so, thank you. Mary, would you like to come show the reading?
Actually, I have just a practical question.
Sure.
As you've been going along, I've been opening all these apps you've been doing. I've got a whole iPad full of open apps now. How do you close an app without just shutting the whole thing down?
Oh, I can show you while I'm on here. Double click your button on the side here, and it'll bring up your dock down below here.
Yeah.
And see all these
Yeah, I've
apps?
got a bunch of them down there.
Okay, I want to close the Pages app, so I'm gonna hold down on it till it's doing
Ah.
a shaky thing, and then I close it, and then it closes the app.
Now, that's not deleting your application.
Right. If I wanted to delete the app, I would do that up here and hold it down right here and delete it. Click on the X and delete it. But to turn it off, you go into your dock down there,
Got it.
hold on to it, and then click it. Okay? We're gonna shift gears a little bit here. I'm gonna show you, on our desktop computers, we have filing systems. Well, what I've found with a lot of the things that, we're using all these different apps for different things, and you might email a PDF to yourself here and there. Well, how do you organize all that? Because all of these things are within specific apps. If you want to try something, there's other apps out there, but this one's called Goodreader. And it lets you create your own little file system. You can manage files. I can create new folders, and let's call this one test. And then I can move docs. I can email docs to myself and put them in these folders. I can, maybe it's something I've done in some of these other apps, and move it over into here. And then I'll just find, I'll open up one of these folders. I have a lot of PDFs and stuff. Well, I don't always want to have them in iBooks. I don't want to clutter up iBooks, so I can have things categorized here. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how you can use iBooks to do this too. But if you want to bring in a whole bunch of files at once, you can create a small little network, a Wi-Fi transfer between your desktop, and if you want to move a whole bunch of things versus emailing a bunch of files to yourself and then opening up and moving them over here. I don't have a way to actually show this, do I? But this has a way of creating it gives you an IP address up here, you can see. And then you go into your computer on your desk and go to what would you call it? On the Mac, you go to what's it called?
Share. Set up.
Yeah, I mean, you can go in and punch in this HTTP and actually create a small little network between your iPad and your desktop. And then once it connects, it lets you see all the files and folders you have on here, and then on here I can see the files and folders. And so I can move over a whole folder full of pictures or documents, and then they're over here in this program. I'm gonna put stop here.
Mary, can you tell us the name of that app again?
Goodreader.
Goodreader.
It's good what, ma'am?
Good reader. And so you can create as many files and folders over here. But like I said, you can also completely move things from one computer to the iPad.
And so
and it
all
lets
those
you-
files you created now showing on Goodreader.
Yes.
Okay, and did you create them in Goodreader?
You can create them in Goodreader, and you can create them on your desktop and move them via, if you connect to the desktop.
Did you create them in Pages and then transfer them there? No?
In Pages, you would have to email it to yourself, and then you could open it up and then file it wherever you want in Goodreader.
Can you move a document from folder to folder on there?
Yes. You go to Manage Files. I'm going to move, let's see. First I'm going to open it. I'm going to move this folder. Oops. It also has a viewer. You can view things in here, and you can annotate. See the little annotation things over there? So this program does a lot of different things. You can even create little notes also. I mean, so you can use it for a lot of different things.
What's the name of this
I'm
again?
going to, huh?
Oh, what's the name of this again? The
Goodreader.
name?
Goodreader.
Good read, oh, good read.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Okay, so I select the file, and then I go over here to move. It's up at the top. Sorry. I have my glasses on. And it's like, whoa. So I can move it to this folder if I want. And then I click move one item here. So now I've moved it to another folder. So it lets you, it's just like your desktop where you're able to have your own little filing system. But I kind of like it. It also lets you can type in, enter a URL, and it brings up a web page. And then you can have that, it automatically puts these web pages in a downloads folder here at the top. And so now that web page is there, if I want to show this on. So it's pretty handy for doing a lot of different things. If you have a lot of documents, a lot of PDF files, you might want to use iBooks to categorize and put things in there. But it's a really easy way to move a whole bunch of stuff over to the iPad wirelessly. You just connect with your desktop. And it has a really good help in settings. It tells you all about, for all the types of security settings. You can lock files here. But it also has a lot of how-tos. You know how some of these apps, they don't have much in the way of help files, how to use them? Well, this one has pretty good thing for troubleshooting, how to manage your files and transferring files. It has a lot of good things. It shows you how to do a computer to device and internet to device and all other types of things. You can also access servers, and I know Matt and I tried that once, but right now there's kind of a security issue because it brings you to the root folder of servers, and you might not want people to go that far in. So that's an app that I use a lot. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Mary. Which keys off the part about security. We just want to show you briefly some of these apps that we're using and some that we recommend, and these last few we have recommended them. A key thing when you first get your iPad is you really need to secure it. And it's a simple process, and it can be a complex if you want it that way. But in your settings, what you want to do is basically go through and you want a passcode lock right here, your iPad. It's a simple way. It may ask for my passcode here, and it does. And see again, if that was a code that I don't want you to see, then you either need to shut off, come back on, and type in the passcode. We're stepping into here. You can require the passcode after 15 minutes when the machine, when it goes to sleep. You can turn the passcode off. You can change the passcode. Right now I have simple passcode on. You can go to a more complex passcode. I'd say look at that, but remember your passcode. Okay? Now you can wipe the machine, and if you have a backup already on your computer or in the cloud, you can bring it back. So you're not totally lost, but it's a neat thing. What I like about it the most is it allows me to, and I don't see it here. You're right, Mary, there's such a glare sometimes you can't see this stuff. That I can, if you type in that passcode 10 times wrong, it wipes the iPad. But then I can plug it back in and download. But in case somebody would steal it, they may tinker with that, which leads into Matt. Take the screen.
All right.
Here's another free. You have to sign up with iCloud, but it's free. Another app. It's called Find My iPhone. The application is, but it'll work on an iPad. It'll work on a Mac with 10.7 Lion installed on it with iCloud supported. Want you to see it. Sorry. Alright, so in this application, what I can do is I can set up all my iDevices or my Mac devices, and I can register them with iCloud. The advantage of doing that is I can turn on Find My iPhone, where I can actually see all my iDevices over here. I can find where they're at, roughly. So, it's not a great science, but one thing that I can do, and this is very good for security, is if I click information on that device, I can play a sound. So I forgot it, I lost it, I don't know where it is. I can do this from my computer. It gives you the same interface. You go to iCloud.com, log in, and go. I can find where that is. Or, to give you a better example, maybe I lost my iPhone, which is so if I need to find out where it is, found it. There it is.
Drops behind the sofa cushion, you know.
Exactly. That happens. Everybody does it.
One thing I should remind people though, of course, if you turn it for the buzz or, no sound mode,
No, it
all it's
does
gonna do
not.
is,
This is actually set to silent mode.
oh, it is right now.
So it will play that sound, which is good. So the only thing that you won't get is if you don't have a network connection or the battery's dead, you're kind of SOL. But one thing that you can do is you can remotely lock it, which means you can set a passcode and lock it, or in an absolute security nightmare, like, my God, I got personal information, I don't have a passcode on it, and I just left Denver Airport, heading back to KCI. I get to KCI, don't have my iPhone. First thing I want to do is remote wipe it. I erase it. Are you sure? Okay, well, enter your Apple ID, password, just to make sure you're not just playing prank on somebody you get your iPad from. Enter that, and it will wipe that device. It sets it back to 100% default. So if someone did get it, they don't have your data. You shouldn't have any sensitive data on it anyway. That's state policy. But if, in case you had some personal information you didn't want anybody else to have, this is very helpful. It's free. It'll do it on your Macs. You can actually, you don't really want to do this, but you can. If you had like a MacBook Air that you left there, you can actually wipe it remotely as well. Or you can set the passcode lock, which is actually really helpful. So this is free. It's security driven, but it's also where did I leave it? How can I find it? Stuff like that. So,
Can you show us how you got there again?
absolutely. It's an app you download in the App Store. I'll
What's
show
it
you
called
one.
again?
I'm sorry.
The name of it?
Find My iPhone. I want to find my iPhone. So the first thing you'll want to do is set it up where they'll sign in. You'll go into the setting, general, find my iPad. They name it on different apps. You can flip that to on. Then from the application on your iPad or on an iPhone or on a computer, you can go to that website. You can open it up. And then I can find it. I can go in there, I can figure out where it is, select which one I have. That one's in Amigo, if I really wanted to. I could be playing a sound and probably just drive the cats nuts. So anyway, stuff like that. You can play tricks on your cat. There you go.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. So we're showing you those basics of security that you have to be thinking about when you purchase your iPad. We showed you the applications of what you need to consider when you're going to use your iPad, and presentation tools that we've showed you and how to present. Now, you've got documents, you've got things that you want to have available on your iPad, a book, a PDF file, or some of those various things. So the next stage of what we want to show you is basically, and Mary's going to present it here, is creating ebooks and books. You want me to plug that in for you?
And while they're setting that up, I'll just review. The remaining items on our agenda today would be to, what Mary's going to talk about now is making your own ebooks or EPUBs using the iBook app on in the iPad, then using the cloud, that would include things like iCloud, Briefcase, Dropbox, things like that. We thought we'd talk a little bit about the App Store, okay? And then that would kind of wrap us up for today. Hopefully have a little bit for questions after that. So that's kind of the remainder of our day.
Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about EPUBs. How many of you are Mac users? Do you have Pages on your Mac? Okay, with Pages on your Mac, you can create EPUBs. There's a Pages app for the iPad, but it will not let you export it out as an EPUB. You can export it out as a Word document, or as text, or as PDF, but it will not let you export it out as an EPUB. But the Pages app for the Mac will actually let you do that. Now I'm going to show you real quickly. We'll have enough real estate here. Actually, let me show you one thing real quick. I think I put it on here. Lost it. If you go to Apple's website, I put it on here, I'm sorry. If you Google creating EPUB files with Pages, it'll take you to, you can go to Apple's site, and it actually has a EPUB best practices sample document. If you download that and open it in Pages, it gives you, you can erase what they have on there, and it gives you a whole bunch of style, like a style sheet that you can use to create your own. And that's what I did. I downloaded it. It looks like this.